How's your life?
And why are you so interested in my life?
No reason. We're just talking.
About what?
Oh, different things. We ask people how they're doing and lift their spirits.
I see. Which country did you pick?
Well, to support Ukraine, we mean no negativity.
Go on, support me. I'm listening to your support.
Are you from Ukraine?
I'm from Ukraine. I await your support.
How are you?
We're holding on. We're at war.
It's really serious for you, isn't it? Like, extremely serious.
Do you even follow the news at all?
We try to, but there are so many fakes,
You don't believe that large-scale combat operations are happening?
That people are so hostile to each other, yes?
The people are hostile towards each other?
Russia with Ukraine. Well, they say yes, that the Russians are coming and killing peaceful, well people.
Yes, there is indeed a war happening. In Izium, yes, in Bucha and in Mariupol. Cities destroyed.
And what about Zaporizhia? Yesterday, a residential complex, residential buildings were hit. That's unbelievable. What do you think about the recent referendum?
That's not a referendum. That circus holds absolutely no significance, not even for Russia. It means nothing to anyone.
That's insane. But well, I watched all of that, and everything seemed so incredibly official, like everyone was really happy that they had waited for 8 years.
Your television broadcasts a beautiful, very high-quality picture, specifically for you, so that you'll believe it, and it's working.
So it's all a bluff then?
What exactly?
Well, all these referendums.
Referendums aren't held under occupation. When the Russian army comes in and destroys cities, what kind of referendum can there be? Under which law, Ukrainian or Russian?
However, there are still individuals who perceive it positively, if you know what I mean.
No one is all right with Russia. With Russians, perhaps, you can still have a normal relationship, especially if they support Ukraine. But with Russia as a country, absolutely no one. It is an aggressor state, a terrorist state.
So, in your opinion, do you think there will be some kind of nuclear war?
I don't know. I hope not. But it could happen.
Well, our television, generally says that Ukraine serves as an intermediary between America and Russia.
Right, so then just attack America. You don't need to. Why the proxy? When you and your boyfriend kiss, do you need some kind of intermediary?
No.
No. If Russia is truly at war with the West, you have 3.6 kilometers to Alaska across the Bering Strait. Go fight them directly over there then. That's the closest point.
Yes, it is truly terrible, of course. But I believe that people themselves desire peace with one another. However, the politicians are still.
Which people desire peace? Peace comes about as a result of either victory or defeat. What?
We used to get along.
What?
We got along before.
We used to live in peace. Now we are at war. A war must conclude with either a victory or a defeat. Then there will be peace, at least for some time. What did you ask? I can't hear.
How did this all start?
Yeah, this all started because of politicians.
No. Politicians carry out the will of the people. According to your constitution, you are citizens of Russia, power belongs to you, and your government carries out your will. If your government launched a war against Ukraine, it means it's carrying out the will of the Russian people. The Russian people wish to conquer Ukraine, and the government is simply fulfilling their desires.
Well, not always. If it were always so, of course.
Not always. It always is.
Well, if our government carried out our will, our country would be much better off than it is now.
But that is the will of your people. Your people don't want to live peacefully with their neighbor. Your people want to fight. Your Your people don't give a damn about the internal problems of the Russian Federation, and so the government reflects the will of your people.
Okay, let's assume for a moment that you are saying that our government is, let's say, just pulling the wool over our eyes, deceiving us. But what is the probability, in your opinion, that you are actually not being deceived at all?
What exactly? What exactly are we being deceived about? About the fact that the Russian army has occupied part of Ukraine? Everything is visible from satellites now. You understand? Your troops are on our territory. What are they doing here?
And here was another question.
No, hold on. You're jumping from topic to topic. What exactly are we being deceived about? That there are no Russian troops in Ukraine? No, they are present there. Indeed, they are there. So, what are they doing there?
Russians don't kill Ukrainian civilians.
Russians don't kill Ukrainian civilians? You can check any Telegram channel and see for yourself. Just yesterday, they shelled Zaporizhia, hitting residential buildings, multi-story high-rises. A district in Kharkiv, northern Saltivka, where many streets and homes were destroyed. Look up northern Saltivka on any search engine. You'll see videos, photos, tens of thousands of them. My niece lives in northern Saltivka, in Kharkiv. She sends me these photographs. She was really lucky. For her, only bullets or shrapnel hit and broke the windows on her balcony. That's all that happened. But for the neighbors, it hit right in their apartment. The apartment is gone, but she was lucky.
Ah,
And you think that Ukrainians are deceiving you?
no, we don't.
That you chose?
We think your government might also be deceiving you about some things, not telling you the whole story. In my actions, you don't know.
Which specifics? You're speaking in general terms. If you can tell me now exactly what our government is deceiving us about, I'd be happy to discuss it with you, and we'll pinpoint the exact details.
Even in general terms, if you take...
What general terms? That's just empty talk. What specifically? Are we not at war with Russia?
No, that is happening, that's a fact.
It is. What then?
Why did our troops end up there? It's simply because when Crimea became a part of our nation, you see...
And how did it become part of you? In what manner did it come to be with you? In 2014, the Russian army occupied Crimea.
Well, I don't know, to each their own.
Their own version? Read the international documents? Don't you have internet access to the UN website? Or do you not care about the UN? What?
I believe your government is withholding a lot from you. It simply won't inform you.
Like what exactly?
Well, I don't know what exactly.
Then why are you rambling on, if you'll excuse my language, young lady? What exactly is it that they are holding back from us?
It's interesting, you see, a friend of mine is currently serving in Ukraine. He's on a contract. And he says that there are a ton of NATO installations there. So it's like not the Russians,
Yes, absolutely, that's definitely the case.
just NATO.
Of course, NATO, American British weapons. Certainly, we officially acquire weapons from the United States and Britain. European nations provide us with weapons at no cost, given that the Russian Federation initiated an attack against us. We legally have NATO armed forces and weapons stationed here. But tell me, what is a Russian soldier doing on our territory?
Because we were informed that Ukraine had moved its military forces right up to the borders of Russia.
Have you even seen Ukraine and Russia on a map?
Yes.
And you actually imagine that Ukraine would attack Russia, right?
Well, it's all coming through America. The fact that America...
What's coming through America? Look at the size of your country, 1/6 of the world's landmass, and Ukraine is 600,000 square kilometers. Ukrainians have a firing range of up to 100 kilometers. We have the Tochka U, but your cruise missiles have a range of 2,500 kilometers. You are striking Ukraine with cruise missiles that are being launched by submarines from the Caspian Sea. And so Ukraine, by firing weapons up to 100 kilometers, was posing a threat to you all. But Russia, possessing cruise missiles with a range of 2,500 kilometers, supposedly poses no threat to Ukraine at all.
It's truly upsetting. Honestly, I wish none of this had to happen. On my mother's side,
Go out there and protest. You're just sitting here in the car talking to me instead of protesting against the war. Huh?
obviously not at 10 at night.
You can go out tomorrow morning.
We have to work.
You can go out on the weekend.
And even if we...
Our soldiers are dying, and you're here telling me we're being deceived.
No, it's just that if we go out, like, let's say, even just the two of us, they'll quickly round us up.
And they'd be right to do it, because your society wants to be at war with Ukraine.
So sad.
You might not want to. But your acquaintances are happily fighting in Ukraine on a contract. You just mentioned you have an acquaintance fighting in Ukraine on a contract. He wants to wage war with Ukraine. He seeks to profit financially from it.
Well, for us, he has no other choice.
Oh, no choice. Was he mobilized or on a contract? Do you understand the difference between mobilized and on a contract? On a contract means the person wants to fight.
He was on a contract at first.
And you have tens of thousands, if not millions like him, who are willing to fight under a contract.
Well, all right then. We'll be leaving now, as we have to get to work. You all hold on tight there, okay?
Oh, we're hanging in there. We've already taken back 5 regions.
All right, all the best. Health and patience above all.
Thank you. What nice girls. They're not telling us everything. Ha! What? Something, right?
How are you doing?
By your prayers. What to talk about?
Just about life.
How's your life?
It's perfectly fine. I have a child on the way. I have a wife.
That's wonderful. And yesterday, 2 Iranian drones that you buy from Iran flew into my city and hit 4 civilian targets.
That's a heavy topic.
Unpleasant?
No, because,
Which country did you select?
none.
You have all countries?
I don't choose. Oh, you mean in the roulette?
Yeah.
I have all countries, all.
Do you have any specific questions for Ukrainians?
Yes, I'd like to ask a few questions.
I'm listening. If I can, I'll answer.
So, look, in Russia, we are told that the Russian language and Russian-speaking people are being oppressed in Ukraine. Is that really the case?
What exactly do you mean by oppressed? Are we shooting them in the streets? Are we taping their mouths shut? What exactly is happening?
I don't know the specific context in which this is being said.
Then I don't get your question.
Well, media tells us that.
Well, for example, the media tells me the earth is flat, but I don't believe it.
Okay, and what about, say, neo-Nazism? Do you have that?
It does. Like any country, you too have neo-Nazis. Your Rogozin, ex-Roscosmos head, is a Russian neo-Nazi. We're not particularly concerned about that. Go ahead, look up a young Rogozin doing the Nazi salute on the internet. He was in a neo-Nazi group. You have global neo-Nazi leaders gathering in St. Petersburg. You probably don't even know about that. But sure, Ukraine is the one with neo-Nazism.
So then, a different one, but I ask myself this. Then what is this war for?
Go ahead and ask your leadership that question.
But you understand it's pointless to ask those questions.
Pointless? Read your constitution?
What exactly? Which?
Exactly that power belongs to the people. You have a republic called the Russian Federation. And the authorities carry out your will.
Yeah, right.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's your will to fight with Ukraine. Your personal will.
Personally, I'm not going there, to Ukraine, or, well, in Ukraine. I'm not sure what the right way to say it is now, and I'm not going to take up arms.
Did you get a mobilization summons?
I did.
You did. And?
What? I paid a 3,000 fine.
And that's it, just a small fine?
Duh?
Oh,
Not yet.
that's good. Glad to hear it.
Well, you see, I had a little bit of a conflict with the military commissar over there. I was called in, and when I got there, they wanted to give me another mobilization summons, but I made my position clear. I said, well, guys, my grandmother is Ukrainian, right? And how can I go and kill Ukrainians, and why would I need to do that?
What did the commissar say?
Well, your grandfathers fought Nazism. I said, are there Nazis? He said, yes. I said, I haven't seen any.
Nazis are everywhere.
No, the Nazis. What kind are we talking about? Again, what kind are we talking about? Among the general populace, ordinary people, yes, I have many Ukrainian acquaintances, close to Lviv and in Kiev. I also have some athlete friends. I'm an athlete myself, so I have quite a few fellow athlete friends from Ukraine. And I haven't seen any Nazis there, doing the Nazi salute or doing anything of that nature.
I'll say it again. There are neo-Nazis everywhere. The question is, are there neo-Nazis among the authorities in Ukraine? Well, are you told neo-Nazis are in power or not? Or just that there are neo-Nazis?
Well, they generally refer to them as Nazis. But then again, the same question always comes up. How can a Jewish person be a Nazi?
I don't know either. We have a Jewish president and a Jewish prime minister.
Very interesting. Yes, I agree with you.
You live in such an interesting country. By the way, how much was the fine you paid?
3,000.
What's that in dollars? I struggle with rubles.
Oh, the dollar has dropped now. Well, let's say it's about $50. $60.
So that's peanuts.
Agree. I completely agree. But it's not worth having that sin on your conscience.
I agree with you. They haven't hit you with criminal charges yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet. I see. What region of Russia do you live in?
Krasnoyarsk, Siberian Federal District.
Quite a distance, I understand. Is that the one heated by coal in winter? I understand. Isn't it peculiar that your enormous city is still heated with coal, even though there are gas fields right next door?
No, our gas fields aren't exactly close by. Our gas and oil fields are located in places such as Norilsk, Dudinka, and other areas, you see. However, we have a lot. So, where exactly is that for us, I wonder? Nazarovsky district, we possess a significant coal deposit, making it economically more advantageous to transport coal rather than...
So it's economically viable to poison the population with coal emissions and to wage war with Ukraine. That's very viable. I get it.
Waging war with Ukraine is not viable.
Not viable?
Well, for the authorities it is profitable, but for the ordinary people it's not advantageous.
How is it not profitable? The population rejoices at the increasing size of Russia.
You're wrong. That's not... Excuse me, but when they told me, you have to go fight for your motherland, I said, what motherland? My homeland. It ends right at the border with Rostov and the Krasnodar Krai. Right around there. Belgorod, yes, that's my homeland. But, I'm telling you, no one has attacked it. Let's begin there. And the fact that something was annexed, those are your problems. These aren't my problems.
Oh, how interesting. And Crimea?
Crimea is for Crimeans, Tatar Crimeans.
Tatar Crimeans. Uh-huh. And Krasnoyarsk residents?
By the way, there was a General Lebed. He was a strong supporter of this very idea, for Krasnoyarsk to be a republic, not Krasnoyarsk Krai, but a republic.
Those are your internal problems that doesn't really interest me. What you're pushing for over there. What interests me is your army getting off my territory, and Crimea, which belongs to the Crimeans, returning to Ukraine.
Well, it's just, you understand, I was in Crimea not too long ago, and I talked to people, to all sorts of different people.
So you also violated Ukrainian law?
Why did I violate Ukrainian law?
Because according to Ukrainian law, entry into the territory of Crimea is only permitted from mainland Ukraine. Individuals who enter Crimea, either by crossing the Crimean Bridge or by air travel, are in violation of Ukrainian legislation. Therefore, you are no different from the majority of your fellow countrymen. And the fact that you paid just $60, well, that means you were quite fortunate.
I actually traveled right through Ukraine. I was coming from Kiev. My friends had invited me to a training camp, and I went to train with your athletes.
Aha! And what year was that?
That was in 2018.
Ah, then I get it.
Everything was legal.
So, you were in Crimea, and you asked the local population, and they were terribly happy about joining Russia.
Yes, not exactly. No, that's not what I meant to say.
What did you want to say?
Not everyone is glad or happy about this. Not everyone feels that way about it.
But most are happy.
No.
No? The majority of Crimeans aren't happy about Russia?
No.
You're the first I've seen on chatroulette.
You think, you truly believe that we just went and occupied Crimea? Well, we just outright occupied Crimea.
They're 100% occupiers. What's there to think about?
I'm not thinking, I'm telling you how it is. We occupied Crimea. Alright, fine.
That's bad.
People were like, wow, that's great, you occupied us. We're so glad you accepted us into Russia. No, that's simply not true.
I have, in the Crimean mountains in Crimea, I have a good acquaintance. Well, she was a very good acquaintance of mine, a good friend I stayed with in Crimea. She is delighted by Russia's arrival.
That's quite surprising, actually, because some of my acquaintances who visited there not too long ago after the Crimean Bridge was constructed had their tires punctured. I don't think they like Russians that much.
Great, good. That truly pleases me. Slashing an occupier's tires, that is indeed a good thing, and it genuinely makes me happy. What's not to like about that?
Why happy?
Because puncturing an occupier's tires is an acceptable and good action.
Alright then, let me pose a counter question to you right away. Why, when the occupation of Crimea happened, did your authorities do absolutely nothing at all?
Are you asking why they allowed the occupation, or what's the point of the question?
Why did they allow the occupation of Crimea? Why was there no action at all?
There was action, but there are many factors.
There wasn't a single action.
There was action. There was action.
I received a medal for the capture of Crimea from the Russian Federation.
Again?
I personally have a medal for the capture of Crimea. I was a conscript back then, and we were sent there against our will.
Okay, and? Let me tell you something. Look, your operation... I'm telling you that, well, you asked a question, and I want to explain that your operation actually started back on February 20th, 2014. That very fact is clearly shown on your medal. That is, if you've ever taken the time to look at it closely.
I've seen it.
And you held it? Consequently, on the 26th during the night, Special Operations Forces in Simferopol seized the parliament and government building of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea. We didn't have a president at that specific moment. We were experiencing political chaos. Our leadership truly didn't know how to act in that particular situation. The National Security and Defense Council was established, with Turchinov at its helm. This document was published by Turchinov himself, where the question was raised, what should we do in this situation, with the Russians advancing in Crimea? Turchinov was the only one who voted to have you all shot at. Everyone else said, we can't shoot. They are our brothers. We still haven't figured out what exactly they are doing here. There was chaos and a state of shock among the highest levels of leadership. Now let's go down to the level of the soldiers in Crimea. Our army's recruitment followed the principle of bloom where you're planted. That is, you serve in the place you were born. And in Crimea, those serving were mainly residents of Crimea, who had never seen the Russians as their adversaries. And when Russian soldiers confront him, pointing their weapons at him, he also experiences a profound psychological shock, and he hasn't been given the order to open fire on you. Although, according to military service regulations, he should have, of course, fired at you. But no one fired at you. We had one serviceman killed during that operation. So I am explaining the situation to you. The highest political leadership was in a state of shock. Subsequently, it was determined that we would lose Crimea regardless, considering that our forces there amounted to a maximum of only 6, 8, or possibly 12,000 servicemen. According to the agreement, you had over 20,000 stationed in various places in Crimea. And on top of that, about the same number were being moved in. Therefore, in that particular situation, it was practically impossible to conduct defensive battles. Meaning, we would have lost Crimea anyway in that, well, purely military situation. You understand the balance of forces. But at the same time, a large number of civilians also perished, because the southern coast of Crimea, in particular, is densely built up. If combat operations were to be conducted in the cities there, as they are currently being waged in eastern Ukraine, then we would have lost Crimea regardless, and an enormous number of peaceful inhabitants would have also died. Therefore, that specific combination of circumstances resulted in Crimea being essentially abandoned by Ukraine.
May I ask one last final question, if you don't mind? Well, listen, regarding the events of 2014 and the situation in Donbass, what I mean is, when Donbass declared its desire to become an independent republic...
Donbass didn't declare anything, just listen.
Why? Well, that's what was being said.
What? Who said?
There were those Minsk negotiations, you see.
Hey, the Minsk negotiations were on September 1st. You should set the timestamp. It was September 1st, according to the dates. And Gherkin entered there in April. 52 Russian servicemen under Gherkin's leadership took over Sloviansk. What local population could you possibly be referring to? Of course, a portion of the local population, the part that all textbooks refer to as collaborators. Of course, your sleeper cells in Donbass, they certainly gave their support to Gherkin's invasion. Who was talking about what there? Which population? Crazy old ladies with posters, was that it? Russian troops went into the area.
But they say there are no Russian troops.
They say the grass is greener in Moscow.
I agree with that too.